Hey, I'm Sarah, and this is What the Fluff. This podcast is about real, unfiltered conversations, the kind you have with your ride or die friends, the ones who are your shoulder to cry on, hype women or men, and your truth tellers who don't sugarcoat the bullshit. Some conversations are deep, some are chaotic, some are healing, and some are just really, really funny. But all of them are real, and all of them are authentic. If you're in a season of growth, figuring things out, or just trying to make sense of it all, you're in the right place. Because life is messy, growth is uncomfortable, and love is complicated. So come sit with me and we'll figure it out together. This is What the Fluff. So, guys, welcome back to What the Fluff, the podcast where we navigate modern dating, relationships, healing, growth, and occasionally call ourselves out on our own nonsense. This is episode 16, The Male Loneliness Epidemic and the Women Who Date Them. So, today's episode is one I've been wanting to do for a while. I wanted to start by saying something that might surprise some people. I believe the male loneliness epidemic is real, and I think a lot of men are struggling. And I think a lot of men are disconnected from community, friendship, purpose, emotional support, and meaningful connection. But today, I don't want to talk about the men who are lonely. I want to talk about the women who are dating them. Because there's a side of the conversation that doesn't get discussed nearly enough. Having empathy for someone's loneliness does not obligate you to carry it. So, guys, let's get into segment one. Loneliness is not a red flag. So, before anybody starts typing angrily in the comments, slow your roll. Let's establish something first. Because loneliness is not a character flaw, loneliness is a human experience. At some point, almost all of us have felt lonely. Like, even I have on my healing journey, self-discovery, and doing better for myself. Being lonely does not make you a bad person. Being lonely does not make you unlovable. Being lonely does not make you emotionally unavailable. The question is, though, how are you handling your loneliness? Because loneliness itself isn't the issue, the coping mechanisms are. Guys, loneliness isn't a red flag, how you're managing it is. So, guys, let's get into segment two. Are you looking for a partner or a solution? Now we're getting into dangerous territory because sometimes what looks like dating is actually outsourcing. This is where we meet the girlfriend replacement package. Hey! The girlfriend replacement package comes with the therapist, the best friend, the emotional regulator, the social planner, the entertainment system, the life coach, the accountability partner, the reason to get out of bed, and the entire emotional support network. At some point, a woman stops being your partner and starts becoming your infrastructure. A relationship should enhance your life. It cannot become your life. Your partner should be a part of your support system, not your entire support system. And a girlfriend is not a substitute for friendships, hobbies, purpose, therapy, and emotional regulation. So, guys, let's get into segment three. What women are seeing on dating apps. So, let's talk about the dating apps because that's where things start getting really weird. And I've spent a lot of time on dating apps. And one thing I've noticed is that very few men are actually looking for a long-term monogamous relationship. A huge percentage of them are still figuring out my relationship goals. Translation, I don't know what I want, but I'd like access to your time, attention, and emotional energy while I figure it out. Another one I heard a lot is short term, open to long. Sometimes genuine, but let's be honest. A lot of the time, in my experience, it meant I'm looking for short term, but if I say it outright, a lot of women won't go on a date with me. And I also have plausible deniability that I ever led her on. Also, another thing I've noticed a lot, there was a lot of people on there in non-monogamous or open relationships. No judgment, no criticism, just an observation. I'll just point this out. If a significant percentage of the dating pool is already partnered and seeking additional relationships, the pool of people seeking exclusive long-term commitment becomes much smaller. The dating pool isn't full of unavailable people. It's full of people available for different things. And guys, I just want to put it out there. Still figuring out my relationship goals is not a relationship goal. You gotta work on yourself, my guy. Oh, so let's get into segment four. The avoidant dating app cycle. So this is probably one of the most frustrating things I've observed on dating apps. So dating apps unintentionally create a system where people can repeat unhealthy patterns indefinitely. No social circles or no common social circles, no community accountability, no reputation, and no consequences. So, what happens? You meet, you connect, you have chemistry, you go on cute little fun dates, and then eventually a hard conversation appears. Expectations appear, vulnerability appears, accountability appears, and suddenly, ghost. Bye bye. Next profile, next match, next situationship, rinse, repeat, recycle. It's easy to look emotionally available when the relationship doesn't get deep enough to test it. Chemistry reveals attraction. Conflict reveals compatibility. So, guys, let's get into segment five, the difference between lonely and available. So, this might be the most important distinction in the entire episode. Lonely does not mean ready, and wanting love does not mean knowing how to maintain it. There is a difference between emotional desire and emotional availability. Someone can want connection, want closeness, want intimacy, want companionship, but if they don't have the consistency, the communication, the accountability, or the emotional stability, they're actually not ready. And that's where things get confusing because attraction without the capacity to sustain it does not create a relationship. It creates chaos. And you can be lonely and self-aware, emotionally available, working on yourself, building friendships, seeking connection, or you could be lonely and desperate, dependent, avoidant, looking for someone to rescue you. The loneliness isn't the problem. The way you're managing it is. Wanting a relationship and being capable of maintaining one are two different skill sets. Lonely isn't a dating status, it's an emotional state. Let's get into segment six. Women are choosing their partners now. So I think this is the part of the conversation that makes people uncomfortable. Historically, relationships are often built on survival. Today, most women support themselves. Most men support themselves. Nobody needs a partner to eat. Nobody needs a partner to pay rent. Nobody needs a partner to survive. So the question becomes, Do I actually want this person in my life? And that is a much harder standard to meet. We don't choose partners based on necessity anymore. We choose them based on alignment, character, integrity, emotional intelligence, conflict resolution, conflict repair, shared values, accountability, financial responsibility, and emotional support systems. Modern dating isn't asking for perfection, it's asking for partnership. When survival is no longer the requirement, your character becomes the filter. So this is where we get into segment 7, guys. The dating pool didn't shrink. The standards have changed. I hear this all the time, and honestly, I've even said it myself. The dating pool is shrinking, but I don't think that's necessarily true anymore. The dating pool didn't disappear. The number of people who are willing to build a life together got smaller. And those are two completely different things. Basically, today we're looking beyond attraction. We're looking at sustainability. Can this person communicate? Can they handle conflict? Can they repair after conflict? Can they self-reflect? Can they self-regulate? Can they take accountability? And can they build with somebody? The dating pool didn't shrink. The tolerance for dysfunction did. So guys, I wanna end this episode off with I have empathy for lonely men. I really do. But women cannot solve the male loneliness epidemic. A girlfriend cannot replace friendships. A wife and children cannot replace purpose. A relationship cannot replace healing. And if we're going to build healthy relationships, both men and women need to arrive as whole people and not as rescue projects. Because at some point, Bob and Bobette the Builder have officially resigned. We are no longer accepting renovation projects anymore. We are looking for people who participate in the construction. Thanks for listening to What the Fluff, guys. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.